Hello, Shirish again. So last time I started talking about the origin of universe and the different parts of our body. In Hindu or Vedic philosophy or theology, we have three different gunas or quality which I mentioned during my last video. Uh, I'm going to elaborate a little bit more on these qualities because they are a little bit different than what one considers. Usually in body we consider good and bad, or there are two forces. For example, like there is a hormone that increases the blood sugar, there is a hormone which decreases the blood sugar, like a yin and a yang in Chinese way of saying it. But we also have chemicals that increase the blood pressure, the chemicals that decrease the blood pressure. We have chemicals that increase the heart rate, we have chemicals that decrease the heart rate, and so on and so forth. But this is a little different. So these are not directly related to the yin and yang or the typical good and the bad that are described in each body. So we have three gunas or three qualities. Now remember that the gunas is what lead us to do certain things, because these are the qualities that are acquired by our physical body, and that's what leads for our actions. So there are three gunas. One is called sattvic, second one is called rajasic, and third one is called tamasic. There is no person who has pure 100% one guna only. These three gunas come from the nature, or in Indian or Vedic philosophy, it's called Prakriti. Prakriti can be translated as a tendency, but Prakriti is inert, it has no life, and it has qualities. Contrast to that, the energy or the spirit or Purusha. So Purusha is male or masculine, Prakriti is feminine, and when they come together, they acquire or start the origin of the universe, as I mentioned it to you before. So everything has a spirit and everything has Prakriti. And as long as you have the Prakriti, you're going to have three gunas. So the sattvic is the pure quality or good quality or calming quality. The rajasic is activating quality, which means it makes you do things, usually good things. Tamasic is a bad or evil quality, or one could consider tamasic as laziness. So all of us have all three qualities, and in fact, at certain times, we have predominance of one or another. For example, if there is a weekend and you're sitting drinking beer and indulging into the parties, you are actually leading to a tamasic quality or tamasic life. If you are doing something activating or action, like building or helping to build a house for Habitat for Humanity or working in a temple to do volunteer work, etc., those are all rajasic qualities. Even for that matter, rajasic quality makes us do work. Rajasic quality makes people fight. Rajasic qualities are predominant in kings and soldiers and in business people. The last but not the least, or the best one, is the sattvic quality. This is a pure quality. This is taking towards the God or good things. And we all have that. We may not have the predominance of it at every action that we do. And these three qualities make our entire life. Now remember, even if it is a sattvic quality or guna, it still leads to an attachment as long as we do the karma, even though it may be a sattvic karma. I'll give you an example. I've probably done similar example before in one of my videos. But since we are talking about the gunas or qualities, I'm going to repeat that maybe again. So if I would pray God unconditionally, not asking anything, but just to have a love of the God or one with the God, I'm doing a sattvic activity, and this has a sattvic effect. But let's say I pray God for my own success, for success of my kids, for my family's well-being, for making more money, for getting bigger car and a bigger house, etc. Even though it is praying the God, the activity is same because there is a condition or there is a reason for it, it becomes rajasic and it will have an effect or attachment to the karma. And tamasic, I already mentioned it to you, but in the same prayer, if I say, I want someone not to get, say, higher position or not to get something, so it is a negative thought that creates my action, tamasic. So same action, praying the God, one unconditional sattvic, one for myself, my family, my surrounding, for something material, rajasic, and something wishing somebody a bad for than a prayer, it is tamasic. So the three qualities actually lead us to an action. Now, a lot of times in Indian culture or Vedic culture, we are accused of having caste system. But if you really look at it, the predominance of one or another quality leads to our action, our occupation, our desires, and our motivations, etc. So in general, not 100% true, but in general, sattvic qualities are seen in teachers and priests and people that pray God, teach religion, that kind of stuff. The rajasic quality is predominant in fighters, soldiers, army men, kings, etc. The tamasic quality is predominantly seen in people who take care of what they are told to do, like cleaning the house, the cleaning service, housekeeping, etc. Now remember, these qualities are always combined. So we have several examples in India where people who were, quote, born in a particular caste which would have predominance of tamasic quality became extremely religious, extremely evolved, and ultimately reached the nirvana or were released from this cycle of life and birth. And there are several examples. I mean, people that are familiar with the Indian systems know these names, especially in Maharashtra, there were several people. So it is there. So just because you are born in a particular parents or caste does not limit the progress of your stuff. And we have seen this in our life. So if I would take a Brahmin or if I would take a priest or a good teacher, he would have predominance of sattvic, definitely rajasic, very little of tamasic. If I would take warriors or soldiers or army people, there will be predominance of rajasic, sattvic, and again small tamasic. If I take business people, those merchants, those people who sell stuff, do contracts, etc., I'm going to see predominance of rajasic, extra tamasic, and less sattvic. This does not mean that merchants and business people are not honest. However, that's the requirement. And when you see the people that are into areas where we ask them to clean stuff, carpenters, bricklayers, painters, where it is actually a manual labor, these are the people where tamasic is supposed to be predominant. They do have sattvic little bit, they do have some rajasic. So this is the system of three gunas which make us do stuff. And believe me, we can change it. This is not what we are born with and we have to continue with, but certainly we have attitude and aptitude for one particular predominance. But with the progress of our soul, we certainly can acquire higher qualities and become more sattvic and rajasic and zero tamasic. Thank you for watching. I hope you like it and you will subscribe to the channel. Have a nice day.